Our mission at My
Relax,
Veteran
buddy.
Passion MVP is to elevate awareness of veterans' mental health. Through both physical and virtual platforms, we empower our nation's warriors and continue the battle against veteran suicide to ensure a smooth transition for veterans into civilian life while preserving the camaraderie they cherished during their service. Through diverse events, social and virtual gatherings, we provide connections, resources, benefits, and education.
Got one.
And as I've
Strong bodies harbor resilient minds. Your support unleashes the true potential of these national heroes. Stand with us in nurturing success and creating a positive environment for mental and physical health alike. Wait, right?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the MVP Morning Mix.
I've played both of them
Yeah.
extensively on both my laptop and my phone,
Mm-hmm.
but the insurgency one, yeah, that has that soft spot. You be like, I did this shit in real life. Deploy them troops. But it puts you in a general's position. So like I always laughed when it asked you questions like the deployment's coming up to an end. Do you want to extend the troops deployment? And I'm like, to me, and I'm not gonna lie, the blue troops, because they're like the quicker ones, those are my Marines. The green troops, yo, I left them in country for a year plus. I was like, nah, y'all can stay there and help build infrastructure.
Oh, that's messed up.
The only troops who had small deployments were my Marines.
Oh man, were you ever Army?
Hell no. My dad was Army and he tells people I joined the Marine Corps to spite him.
Well, is he wrong?
Not really. I mean, there's some truth to that.
There we go. Well, so that's interesting because you said like there's family history of people that joined the military, and part of it is that you wanted to join the military because of your family, right?
Yeah. Like
It,
as a kid, as a
yeah.
small kid, I of course I figured I would have went into the army. It
Hmm.
wasn't until like, and if I'm honest, in fact, it wasn't until like my parents were going through a divorce and I was.
You're coming in broken and unreadable, big doggy.
Can you hear me now?
T.
It wasn't until high school when my parents were going through a divorce
Mm-hmm.
and a Marine recruiter that was going to my church was one of my mentors, and I kind of took suit of him, in fact.
Interesting. Well, we're not gonna ask.
Granted, there was like 3 or 4 Army recruiters at my church growing up,
Uh-huh.
but that one Marine recruiter, he stuck out way more to me.
We're not gonna ask Vop and Jay what they think about the Marines because we've seen Jay's um, interview with Vapi, and they just say they really like the Marines. No, but that's it's pretty cool to continue a family legacy. I'm the first person to um, serve in my family. Actually, my father was very against it at the time. It was just really almost negativity coming from him most of the time. So I I kind of took that as a challenge when he said, "No, you're not gonna make it." At that point, I realized, "Nah, I'm gonna go 20 years just because he said that." And I saw it as a good path or as a career, you know. So it's not just because, but it was a way to, do something extra and stuff like that. So I,
I don't want to seem racist, but I'm gonna ask.
yeah,
Were your parents against it? Like, because are you like first generation, uh, what would be the correct terminology? Spanish American? Like,
yes, I'm
you know,
first generation too. Yes,
so like your mom or dad came over and they were
yes,
like, don't fight for this country, fool. We came here for the freedom and you're going to go jump on the stick.
it's war. They understand. I was 18.
If your parents
you
wanted
think
war, they
you
would
think
have
I
kept you where
knew?
they were.
You think I knew, bro?
You could have fought for the cartel, damn it. That's the way your dad viewed it. If I wanted
Uh,
you to fight, I could have kept you back in the motherland.
no, but it was obviously they were concerned, but I was more into seeing and what the recruiter told me. That's some be it. But um, whether it happened for good or bad, I'm happy to be here. You know, like the experiences makes me the person who I am. You know, I might not be the person who I am right now if I didn't go through the things I went through. You know, and for those that in religion they say that God's puts their strongest soldiers in the hardest battles for a reason. You know, I think I'm tough. I think what I've gone through has made me tough. The good and the bad. The bad mostly that I had to have that emotional resilience to to navigate through life. And that's what we're talking about today is that emotion, building that emotional resilience. Some of the things that, or maybe some examples that you guys might have when it comes to that emotional resilience. Talking about the service, um, and just some of the worst times it was in Afghanistan for me. So when I was out there, I had to develop a positive outlook to like life. Like, welcome to the suck. Like, hey, if you put the water in a sock, it gets it kind of cool. And that was a delicacy for us. And you had to see the happiness in like lukewarm water comparatively to the regular hot boiling water that we got from just having the water there. You had to build some type of, you know, good outlook on what you could control. You were deployed. You can't control that, but you can control the little things. Or when people were happy because they got the the jalapeno cheese in their MRE, or they got that good MRE. That's that's developing a positive outlook to a bad situation we were in. War is never a good
Or
situation.
or a positive outlook to a bad situation is if some dickhead had the charms in their bag and you had to take them charms and go and throw them in the fire.
That's why I'm in the hazardous airborne because I threw charms in the fire. Way to go! Thanks for
Yep,
letting people know,
basically.
bro.
You know what? That sounds like a
That's what it
case we should
was.
open. That sounds like a case we should
I
open.
think this is something we can ask Weller. Weller, for the hazardous airborne bill that came out. Is charms in there? Because I think that was part of the hazardous born things that we did.
We literally ritualistically stood around our little burn pit and threw all the charms we had collected into it. So I feel like
It's like a blob at the bottom of just melted
yes,
caramel.
yes. In fact, I remember one time we threw one of the batteries into the fire. We used to burn a lot of things we probably shouldn't have.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they were like, "We're gonna bring this back to base. It's a rechargeable battery." I'm not carrying this. It is a dead battery. I am hot. We've been out here for 7 days. This battery is going in the fire.
Hey, Weller, did you ever hear about that 203 round that went off in the garbage in Nowzat?
Nope,
Good.
I did not.
Good. Woo! Yep.
I'll do you one better. We had a flashbang go off in an ISO back in Iraq. The ISO belonged to reservists. They weren't properly storing their flashbang grenades, we found out that day.
Oh, disability, hearing, everyone.
Everyone. I was like 7 MRAPs down from their ISO when it went off, and I thought we were all dying. Like I thought the base was under attack. All our bow, 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 bow. Like I rolled into under the MRAP. I was like, oh, this is it. I'm gonna die right here under the
Oh
armored
my
vehicle.
god, that's crazy.
We found an entire ISO full of Johnny Walker Red Label.
What?
Yes.
From the Australians?
The British.
British?
Did we get that back to America?
Nope. But we put some in our wrecker. We put it underneath our seats in our wrecker. And so we kept like 6 bottles.
At all times, you had
Some
a
bitch.
bargaining device. You could have been like, look, we want to end the war. We've got a couple bottles of Red Label right
Yep.
now.
I mean, even Red Label would be good out there, you know what I mean? No, but yeah. Good morning, J Made. Rojo, thank you for pulling me up. I pulled you up, my man. Appreciate it. Anyone that's streaming, welcome in to the MVP Morning Mix. Where we help each other, motivate each other, and learn for for a better future, a better day, better week. Today we're gonna be talking. We be talking. I was gonna say, we are gonna be talking about building emotional resilience. You know, we talked about how we can develop a positive outlook on it. And we also talked about well, what we're gonna talk about is what we're doing here. You know, sometimes to build that emotional resilience, we need the MVP morning mix. You know, it's how we build that strong relationship with our social network and our loved ones to provide like encouragement and help one another. Like, hey, maybe I should wake up a little bit early. Hey, maybe I shouldn't drink that eighth beer. You know, like, chill. Like, sometimes there's certain things that helps us when we strengthen those connections with our network. You know, like sometimes we don't know what we're doing is wrong until someone can tell us, hey, you're doing this and this is not correct. You know, the best example I can provide where I know that I need help with is sometimes when I speak around veterans and my friends, but there's children around, some people don't know how to mind their words. And that's the best way I can say, like, how we can start conversing a little bit better with one each other and start communicating better. Yes, they say that if people use foul language, it shows a complex way of thinking. I get it. But to communicate and strengthen those connections with those around you can also help you see a different
Personally, I
perspective.
don't believe that a person that can't curse can't be real with you.
Yes, but again, it's when to curse, not if you can, but it when.
I think if they use an alternate cuss word, they're a deceiver instantly. Like if someone's like, "Look here, you gosh darn it!" Like what?
There's
Some of us jobs with children. We have to learn to do that shit. It's
there's
not deceiving. It's just like
No,
extra
see, you
thought
just did it.
processes.
You
yes,
just did it.
there's a
You just did
better
it.
way to
You
communicate.
just nope, nope, nope. See, you just did it. You just really said we do that shit. But at work with children, that's a different thing. That's like putting on one of your masks or a helmet. You know, you got to be professional. But even at work, I'm sure something could happen with those kids that'll make a cuss word slip up. That's what I'm saying. Anyone that I catch themselves, it's like, got you, you, you brownie lover. Like, no, just let that cuss word flow. You just let it flow. That's what I mean.
That's so funny. Okay, no, I see what you're saying. Still, I think the what I'm trying to say here is that like we have to strengthen those connections and we have to face some of those challenges in a way where it's not insulting to yourself, but a good challenge. I've been recently on Instagram and stuff like that, and there's this guy that goes in there and says like, "Oh, tell me how to tell people they are dumb in you know, this way or something." And the guy goes and rants, and it's just funny how he uses different words to basically tell that person they're they're messing up. So I thought it was funny, and that's what I say about like when we embrace the change, that we have to view change as an inevitable part of life and the opportunity for growth. Adapting that life's changes can make you more resilient overall, whether it be, you know, changing your habits of eating is going to be rough, but it's part of it. Having the ability to embrace that change, it's inevitable for us. Life is change. That's it. Um, Delta, Delta, Delta. uh, but what's another way? Hey, what's up, Doro? Thank you everyone for being here. What's another way that you guys think builds emotional resilience?
It's one of those moments in the classroom where the
Yeah,
teacher asks a question and
like
you're
not
like,
everyone at the same
Like
time,
what?
y'all.
I don't know
What
what to
was the
Oh
say.
fuck,
Like,
he's
question?
asking
I
us.
heard the I heard the question, but I can't think of a good answer outside of
Yeah.
something like drinking.
I was reading a question. I'm sorry. I zoned out. Honestly, I didn't hear the question. I was writing
Yeah,
them
I
down.
need to hear the question again. I was fiddling with the wheel.
No worries, no worries. So, building emotional resilience, right? We talked about developing a positive outlook, like welcome to the suck type of thing, right? We are strengthening connections, like we're doing here, in the morning mix, right? We're talking, we're trying to be resilient, when we're embracing the change, we're adapting to life. Life has changed, right? What are some other ways that can help you build that emotional resilience? What are some of those pathways? Maybe some of the things that we can establish in order to help us get over something.
Changing the perspective mentally, which I like to think the military, not just the Marine Corps, but the military taught all of us that from the jump. Think about what your recruiter said. This is gonna suck. And yet all of us still signed that piece of paper. We wanted something different, but we went into it not thinking, I'm gonna get off this bus and have somebody be like, hey, welcome. How are you today? It's camp. Like, we all got off that bus expecting someone to be spitting and screaming in our face, knowing that this is probably gonna scare me stupid.
Yeah, but with that being said, yes, we developed what that recruiter did for us though, and how they convinced us is they established the goal for us. Big example for you two guys. The Marine Corps, yeah, they're gonna yell at you and all that, but they have the coolest uniforms. You get to be the best of the best of the best. They set a goal for you. So they're
So like,
establishing
yeah,
goals. That could be a way to build that emotional resilience where you're having that clear goal with a sense of purpose and direction, like a vector. But you're just gonna get screamed and probably hit in the ribs and all this stuff. You know what I mean? Not hit in the ribs. Back in the day, I don't know nowadays. But
I fell off the 8-course stock.
I, I fell down the stairs. you know,
Quite literally what I told the corpsman at medical.
but that yelling, that boot camp, that MOS school that you took, those are the small steps to achieve that eliteness per se for the Marine Corps. You know, for being the top in the nation. Those goals were clearly established to you. Is it gonna suck for you? Yep. Is you're gonna bleed? Yeah. Cry, sweat, tears, all that. Yeah. But you will be a Marine. He set that goal. He got you, bro. He got you. So you could have joined the army, but you joined the Marine Corps. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
but that's kind of in a way like you were just saying. That's because when it came down to it, the way they presented it, of course, we were at a time of war. 9/11 just happened. So I don't think any recruiter was feeding any kid, you won't go to war, but they came at it like life sucks. You're going to go to war. Do you want to survive? It's not that we'll teach you to go over there and slay everyone, but we'll teach you to go over there and survive. And at the time, it was like, yeah, that makes sense. Because even outside of, like you said, the cool uniforms or anything, the stats kind of showed something about the Marines is different from the Army. And then, of course, once you're in, You go over there. No offense to any of the army, you know, brethren or sisters,
Hmm.
but I noticed the difference versus when we came out of the gate and when the army rolled out of the gate. The town was like, "Oh, it's the army. Let me try to sell them some watermelons." When we came out, it was like, "Hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your husbands."
Yeah, the ROEs
That's
were
really
definitely
true.
they're definitely different when I was with the Marines. It was just different rules of engagement were just completely different. But yeah, I mean, we also learn from our experience. That's also a great way to think about like building that emotional resilience, right? Because you reflect from prior missions and how you did before, or how you handled people before, and now how you can handle them again. Why? Because sometimes some of the situations are continuance chapters until you learn from that experience, then you can handle the stress and adversity a little bit more. Think about the strategies that work for those times that do and those times that don't. You know, there's and you know like the famous J. Cole said, there's beauty in the struggle. We just have to learn from it, you know? Um, Sometimes the person that is the most successful is one of the persons that has failed the most. That's a tough pill to swallow because everybody wants to be good at what they're doing the first time they do it. Yeah, it's why it's the grind. We have to embrace that. We have to embrace the change that sometimes things won't work. That doesn't mean you quit. You develop that emotional callus, that emotional resilience. Notorious, thank you for being here. Drunken the man, thank you for being here. Notorious says, if depression is a mental health condition, how come it leads to low physical energy, like not just motivation, just low energy? It's chemical changes. If that's the case, then your body is not getting some chemicals they used to do back up in your brain, and sometimes you have to kickstart those. Even though you have that low energy, there it could be many other things. It'd be something that you should definitely ask your provider, and make sure you seek that professional help. And we're here to tell us about our experiences, our life experience, our learned experiences, and when it comes to stress, when it comes to certain things, this is something that this is why we're here, because sometimes what Jay went through, he wants to be like, yo, don't do this, meditate. It's a great one. Practicing mindfulness, right? When we practice our mindfulness, like, we really can improve our resilience, you know or what did we called it, the stop and think. He agrees. But yeah, depression can be debilitating. Is it true that some people's depression is so bad they can't get out of bed? Yeah, I've been there.
I've been there
I've been
too.
there. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But what did I do? I told myself I need to hop in the shower. I need to make the bed. Once I make the bed, I went back to lay down on it, but I felt better about it. You know what I mean?
I think
Like,
some people can't fathom it when you say it. Like when people ask questions like that to me, it a simple answer to it is like we've all seen homeless people. Like, yeah, on a different level, it's almost like that. You have your days where the chemicals in your brain when you wake up don't balance right to the point where you're like, I'm gonna roll over here and go get in the shower, go brush my teeth, or you just lay there. And time goes by. You don't have a sense of the seconds, the minutes, the hours. Your brain is just like in a void. You're floating just, woe is me. It's like a homeless person. They're there though, and they're physically out there. Like you've seen a homeless person. Just imagine they're there all day, just sleeping. Yeah, he's not gonna get up. He's not gonna walk nowhere. He's just there. Homeless person. That's depression.
Yeah. Notorious says, I feel like I've developed anxiety as a coping mechanism to my depression because it forces me to get things done, even though I'm in that depressed state. So technically, some depression symptoms can overlap with ADHD. Okay. Rojo says, some anxiety is good. I'd call it positive stress. Yeah. I mean, what Rojo is doing is embracing that change, telling you, like, you know what? It's okay to feel this way. You know, someone passed away in your life that was so close to you. Your mother passed away. It's okay to be sad. It's a normal reaction, you know? Depends how sad you, how long you are. Obviously, you know, it's gonna get better with time. There's just no way around it. You know, when you're depressed, you're depressed. Sometimes you have to push yourself to do stuff, you know? Um, it's how you incorporate things into your life. It's not that it's overlapping with it, but because you might have other things going on, you can use that. And again, Lit Bullet said it himself. Sometimes when you develop some of these emotional resilience tactics or techniques, they're not the best. You know, just because you developed it doesn't mean it's a good one. There's good and bad. You know, just because we're talking about it doesn't mean.
You leave my alcohol out of this.
You know, but it's a good example. Maybe, you know, developing that anxiety and all that, it's a good example of a positive one. You know, alcohol or using drugs or, you know, but the biggest thing that we can do as we talk about having that what we can control is taking care of your own health. You can do that. That's you. You know, that's your oiled machine. You know, physical well-being supports mental well-being. You know, we talked about what's today? Walk It Out Wednesday.
I was getting ready to say that. You beat me to it. Jeez, Doc. Steal my thunder.
My bus.
Damn it, I was muted.
So we have Walk It Out Wednesday, you know? That's part of us encouraging one another. Hey, let's keep each other accountable, you know? What's your PT today? Go and post it in the motivation and workouts. And you know, you have an ability to win a $10 gift card if you do so. And not only that, but you promote other people to do it. You keep each other accountable. Some people weren't even walking on Wednesdays, and now they're doing it some other times. And now they're inviting other people to go walk with them. And now we're developing just um, better techniques. Sorry, my monitor over here is going crazy. I'm looking at my stream and it's not happening, which is okay. I'm happy. It's just I'm a little tripped out. That's all.
It's trying to teach you emotional resilience. Come on, Doc. Just deal with it.
I'm putting my workouts in there, trying to find people who want to do them too.
That's what I'm talking about. We have temple training today in Tucson, Arizona, so I'll be streaming that. It might be a little late for those people on the East Coast, but as the winter comes into Arizona, we'll change the time a little bit so it can be feasible for those out there. But yeah, we do that too. We do temple training. Sunday we do mobility strengthening. You know, when we talk about when we take care of our health, we also when we talked about um, when I said meditation, like Jay or Tai Chi, it's like I'm being serious. You know, we have mobility strengthening on Sundays, so everyone can try it out and really relax. We have a part there at the end where we do a little bit of meditation, and man, that's probably one of my favorites. Like, I feel like I can take a nap, and you know how hard that is sometimes. So thank you, Banka. Appreciate you. Um, but yeah, you know, we have to take care of our own health. And it starts here, you know. My carafe is gone, but you know, I gotta get more water. hydration is big. Your body is made of over half of it is water. Think about that. You need water every day. Um,
I think it's also important to recognize that sometimes when you're anxious or depressed, or sometimes both, that it feeds into the cycle of you can't take care of your health because it's really hard to get out of bed, and it's like a hamster wheel. And sometimes you just have to get off the hamster wheel and do something that breaks your routine. So if you find yourself just not wanting to engage in your day or really do anything and just sit behind your computer, maybe try and do something different that changes up your routine. Um, and then it also opens you to new experiences too, because I think the biggest part for me is it's not that I don't want it's not that I don't want to go out. Well, I mean that too, but um I just don't want to go out and deal with, like, is a car going to cut me off? Like all the unknowns. And I know that's me needing to build up my emotional resilience and my, road rage, and just, yeah, this is why I don't go anywhere. This is why I don't go anywhere. I really need to be better about that. So I'm actually going to practice that this weekend. Dixon's going to stay home, and I'm going to go and I'm going to get out of the house for a long time, much, much longer than normal. So
that's awesome.
trying to build up my emotional resilience for the event that's coming up. So that's going to be a lot of people in a
Yeah.
lot of places.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Notorious says exactly. The overthinking anxiety gets in the way of doing some of those things. Can I get rid of that?
For
Well,
real.
look,
You got to build up your emotional resilience.
that's what we're talking about.
Unfortunately, that's it.
This is it. Like no one's gonna. Hey, let me give you an upgrade. Boop. All right, I could do that. No, you have to build it yourself. That's it. Like if you go to a professional, they'll tell you the same thing, And I'm telling you, sometimes we have to go seek someone because there's maybe some other intermediation that needs to happen. But what we can do is what we can control right now is some of the lived experiences that we have, right? And starting with your health, will help you increase that mental health, you know, that resiliency. One thing that we do here at MVP is that for Memorial Day weekend, we all get together as a family. We pick a place. We've been doing this for multiple years now. Last year was Denver, and the reason we do it for Memorial Day weekend because that's when a lot of us start feeling sad and depressed. It actually starts like a week beforehand, but the way we honor our fallen sometimes is not the healthiest, and sometimes it can create problems in our life. So some of the ways that we've tried to help one another is that we all get together, we congregate in a specific place every year, and then we go and we socialize with one another. And when we go places, we go together. So it builds that sense of you're not alone. We can honor those that have fallen in a different way than we're used to, and it could be joyful and it could be healthy. And we have to start learning that instead of drinking ourselves to oblivion in a bar. Um, those people would be glad to see us thrive than to see us suffer. I guarantee you that. So we have to practice that mindfulness. You know, being mindful is about your own thoughts and the feelings in the world around you, and that can improve your resilience. Mindfulness involves observing your experiences without judgment and being present in the moment. I remember an MVP member when we had an event in Austin said, "Hey, I've never been around so many people. I'm nervous, but I'm good because I'm with you guys. But I'm very nervous." I said, "Well, good. Relax. Like, we're good. We're here." And it's funny because it felt like everywhere we go, we keep like a type of like group, kind of like as if we were patrolling, or sometimes we would walk and all of a sudden everyone's like in line and in step, and I'm looking at them like, look at these nerds making me happy over here. Like it's just a sense of like, hey, we're good, and I think that everyone should experience that. We're trying to do the MVP Memorial Day events in different parts of the nation because we have MVP members across the whole nation. Who knows? Maybe in developing years, we'll be in other countries. We have members in other countries as well. But we start here. We start at home. We start helping one another here. And by incorporating not only these strategies, Notorious, um, we can incorporate each other's in our lives and help each other be better. We all bring our own experiences. We all dealt with life differently as veterans, active duty, and veteran supporters. Because the way the family's perspective on when we come back, we have to take into account. Because those are the people that love us and are there for us. That's why we encourage the veteran supporters to be part of MVP. Because we need those silk gloves for us to come in here, and if someone tells us or corrects us, I'd rather be someone that cares for me than someone that is doing it in a form of creating a malice point or form, you know? So sometimes you do need that pump up, We talked about it, strengthening those connections of your social network. What we're doing here, the morning mix, it's huge. What's a time, and this is for everyone, what's a time that you had to embrace change in something and you were nervous and you didn't like it, you were in pins and needles, but after the end of the day, you were like, all right, it's not that bad. And then you started building that emotional resilience towards that. I can tell you, me is playing keyboard and mouse, baby. Like, I'm still trying to build that emotional callus. Like, when you're good at something and then you become, training wheels again, and you see people that you're running with, they're sprinting. Man, I can tell you that's something for me right there. Like, I'm learning. Jay, stay. Don't look at me, Jay. Don't look at me.
It's okay, Doc. I'll be gentle with you. I can teach you the way.
Show me the way. Bob said, moving to the great state of Oklahoma. You know what? Yeah. Embrace the suck. Next thing you know, it's a good thing. I mean, definitely, divorce will do that to you. That's definitely something will do that like that to you. I mean, that sucks, but some people have to learn that lesson a couple times, and sometimes they find the right one and sometimes they just don't. And sometimes it's not those persons, sometimes it's you, and you have to look into what's going on with you.
I'll be honest. I think for me, it's like that struggle of like doing what's best for myself. I was very selfless and didn't care about myself, and I cared about everybody else more than me. And it was a struggle, and it was really uncomfortable to like look in the mirror and be like, what do I need? What do I want? Like to learn to ask myself these questions and act on them, that was uncomfortable because I felt like I was failing other people around me because I was choosing me over them.
Bro, I resonate with that. Let me tell you. Like, I just explained this the other day. The big difference between my relationship now and my relationship previously is I made the example of I make, let's say I make a meal, right? And whatever that meal is, let's say it's a piece of lasagna. I would give always the best piece or the best thing to someone else, my partner. And I never got the best piece of lasagna. And now, like, I'm in a relationship where I feel like we trade off. Sometimes he gets the best piece, sometimes I get the best piece, and I feel like everybody's happy, and I'm not just, I feel I have a partner where I don't feel so guilty, and it's also helped me carry into like my friendships too. I'm not going to be miserable so everyone else can be happy. I'm not going to do that. It's got to be a two-way street. And the I, I'm really glad you brought that up because yeah, it's exactly how I feel.
It's when when you used to care, some people do take advantage of you, and some people will continue to take advantage of you because you won't stand up for yourself because you don't know what it is. Right now,
You just described my previous marriage. When I stood up for myself, she was done with me. She was over it. She was like, "Nope, don't want you no more."
when I chose myself, things change. Right now, I am dealing with like, what do I need? How do I continue myself being happy? I'm reading a book or I'm listening to a book called The Courage to Be Disliked. The Japanese phenomena that shows how you change your life and achieve real happiness. So I'm excited to hear it because it mixes philosophy with uh, psychology, and these are giants in their own fields that are talking about it and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just there listening. I'm like, is that me? Is that my life? Damn. All right, I gotta change something. Sometimes it resonates. Sometimes you're like, nah, this chapter's not for me. You know.
That
But
really is something big, though. That's uh, that's something that kind of hits with me. Like when I first started streaming, like I was afraid I was gonna be unliked and be unpopular and be uncool, like I was in school growing up. I was never cool and popular and had friends, right? It's always the nerd that kind of got picked on, and but I had to learn how to get over that. Like, not everybody's gonna like me. I'm okay with that. I think the biggest goal for me was like having that courage to just be me publicly and not feel like I have to hide myself because someone's going to judge me and then not like me and then well now I failed because so and so doesn't like me anymore and like I used to feel that way like I would have to impress other people almost for them to like me and then I realized that I was failing myself in that process because like I was caring more about others people's opinions about me than my own opinion about me. So, but yeah, I think for me it's like once once I had matured enough emotionally, I was capable of letting other people's opinions go and focusing on myself again. So,
I don't worry about other people's opinions. I just have the biggest bleeding heart in the world, and
mm,
I can't help it. I think it's one thing I love about myself and something that's also a flaw. Like I want to take care of everybody else, but I never take care of myself first, and I'm really trying to change that.
Hey, Plum, respect yourself.
What? Ah,
let's not lead you there.
Hey,
pick
everybody.
yourself.
Morning, my man. We're talking about building emotional resiliences and some of the key factors on how to do that. Jade Mate says, I agree. I stand up for myself now and I am told I'm selfish. I mean, again, it's all about the perspective. If someone doesn't
It's
like,
true.
the reaction and they're asking for something or something, definitely, someone that's used to
So I
taking
mean,
advantage of you, of course they're not going to like the reaction.
right.
There has to be
It's a
some
lose-lose
reciprocation.
situation.
Yeah.
If you don't stand, okay, if you stand up for yourself, you're a bitch. If you don't stand up for yourself, you don't get what you need. It's a lose-lose situation, so you might as well get what you need out of it, and then people can call you whatever they want. Like it's really kind of building that emotional resilience to, I'm not going to feel guilty. I've done everything I can, or I'm not going to feel guilty and help everyone else before I help myself.
Mm-hmm. Bob
I
says,
mean,
go ahead.
listen, this is a heavy conversation for me just waking up from a nap.
Bob says people will
I'm all
think,
for it though.
yeah, people think you're selfish for doing what's best for you, but they don't know the struggle you had to go through to get there. I'm still learning. Jade May says, I'm still learning to live my truth. So it's getting there. Yeah, I mean,
One of the things that I've tried to really live by lately is like sorry, my phone went off. Wherever you go, there you are. Like the wherever you go, there you are. I'd always been like running from home into the army, running out of my last marriage to somewhere else, and then every time like I would fail, I would move apartments thinking that that was going to change something. And then I realized like the common denominator to everything is me. So like wherever you go, there you are. Like you are there. And you have to like embrace that. And so I've really had to like learn to just do what's good for me and stay in the present because that's where I am.
I love that, Bonquita. Thank you for sharing that, Bonita. That makes a lot of sense in my head. That's so true. It's so very true, and I can identify. I suppose with that because anytime that I don't know, it's like I've torn everything down, like let absolutely everything go, thinking like I really need to shed myself from all of this, as if my world is gonna change. Pero es cierto, absolutely right. Like wherever I go, there I am. And if I want that to change, then I would have to really definitely change myself. Y luego con eso, like I've identified a lot of growing pains. Like I love how El J y la Plum were sharing, about, just stop living to do things for others in a way to like give myself some time. No, say the way that it resonated with me, it was like that. Like I would try so hard to not be a burden. Like in many ways that I didn't really know that I was doing. Like, but it was all linked to that. Like just anything. And a lot of things, I suppose, is just the way that I was brought up. And a lot of things are very pretty. A lot of things are culture. But also, like when I, got divorced or became a single mom, I remember trying to be the same, perfect woman that I was raised to be, as a wife, y todo, like just having everything perfect, the best mom, having the kids, a certain standards and just everything. And then when I started, became a single mom, I was absolutely trying to be the same, you know, um, person, but still I had like this other big weight on, like now I'm working, I'm learning to pay bills, now I'm like managing daycare, all this stuff, like all kinds of different things. So I think that I picked up and I was doing pretty good, but even to like just now, even I can still identify things just from like last year, not too long ago, where I would still do a lot of things, trying to like not be an inconvenience to anyone. As if not that I was, now I understand that, but I think I was just too careful trying to just be something better than what I actually am. Like me, just for who I am, I'm valuable, I'm worthy, and I'm pretty awesome just the way that I am. And I found myself really like hiding that part of me, or just, my essence, hiding a lot of my who I am, trying to meet like standards that I put in my head so that I could be favored maybe by a certain type of people, or no say. I don't know if that makes any sense of explaining it, but it resonated what you guys shared with me. Like it's absolutely right. Wherever you go, there you are. And also like it takes little growing pains to make a few changes. Like I don't want to have to pretend or I don't want to have to force myself to give more energy than what I have to give, like unnecessarily I don't necessarily have to
when
put much out there
when
to
you
be
Yeah,
accepted.
I understand that because you're talking about carrying the weight of doing the things that you're supposed to do. Like, yes, you're supposed to be a grown up and do the things that grown ups do, but then there's like other things, like all the other things that you're supposed to do, even though they're not something that's your normal or that you want to do. It's just like you do it because you're the daughter, you're the mother, you're the like there's just that weight of you do it because you're supposed to do it. Like that's what you're supposed to do. It doesn't matter if I want to do it. Like I'm supposed to do it.
Yeah. Yes.
yeah, I mean, it's tough. That's life, right? You have kids, you have to put them through certain things. You know, you have to pay for certain things, and that's just on a playing field, right? Like that's men and women overall and everything. Like that's what we have to do. We have to take care of kids and all. That's stressful period, right? But when you say like I'm I'm pretty awesome just the way I am, like um what do you mean by that? Like just the way I am? Like is there a plus you or
I mean,
like I feel
for
like you're saying
example,
it as like a coined term. Is it just the way I am because you are the way you are? But why do you say just the way I am? Like why don't you remove that just or why does that
no,
just is there for you? You said it three times in the same way, so I figured like
I suppose, yeah, because I
it's a
suppose that I
slogan or
have
something.
been like very hard on myself at moments, like Mm, just for an example, when I tried to like socialize more, my kids, I was waiting for my kids to become maybe a little bit, just a little bit older and stuff, so that I can like start like going out or doing things for myself. When I was trying to rip myself from being like just like this whole mom and just working person to like actually have a social life of my own, like not necessarily with my kids all the time or things like that. And so I would find, just throughout my life, I suppose. And I think that I felt at many times that I was an inconvenience because at times I would be late, or sometimes like it would like really dread on me, like, oh, if I use like this money or this budget for my going out, I would feel like really bad with the kids because then that's like taking away from something that I can provide for them. And then no say it's just like overcommitting, I suppose, to just things where I knew my ass, like I don't have enough energy to juggle all that. Like I already have all of this. I wanted to fit more things in my life, maybe to feel a little bit better because there was points where I did feel very alone and just like I felt like I could only identify or only be a mom and I wanted to be more than that. And or maybe like I don't know, I felt like I needed something else or just even like dating or just for anything, like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things, like I had to quiet down my concerns as a mother, had to like quiet down my concerns of I suppose just as that mom, like the life that I wanted to break apart a little bit from, like turning a lot of that off. And that it was to me like, who the heck am I trying to be? Like I'm a mom. That's what fills me. That's what I'm living for right now. But a lot of times I felt myself, just turning a lot of that off of myself because or even like things like I love the kitchen, I love to cook, I love to do all these things. Y también, trying to be this powerful, independent woman, I felt like even those things I would be like, oh, I hate all of this because I was trying to be something that or fit into molds, I suppose. The only molds that I could see that I should be fitting into, but it didn't really I wouldn't be able to fit all of myself into those. And like, this is just like who I am and things like that. Like, no, there's a lot of things that I change. I keep learning, through my walk in life. Like,
Yeah.
there's always molding and changing.
I don't
That's I
mhm.
that's not exactly what I mean. I suppose it's just I
So, so I want you to know that I want you to know I don't want you to think that life has always been unfair to you in that aspect, but it's a give and take, right? Like you give something, you take something, and vice versa. I really like what Plum said about, you know, I'm always used to giving, but my partner now, sometimes gives me the best part, and he doesn't take the best part. I don't always, it's an interchangeable
Mhm.
thing. It's a give and take. I really like that because it helps us see that, you know, you don't always have to come last, but it's okay to sometimes accept that. Plum says practice self acceptance. Acknowledge that to
Yeah.
accept your imperfections is part of being human. the overthinking, it happens. It's fine, but what you're gonna do with that? Everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and no one's perfect.
Mm.
Embrace your whole self and kindness rather than judgment.
You know what? I think when you start looking at yourself, instead of thinking, what does the world want me to be? Or what do I need to be for the world to respect me? You've really got to dig deep down inside, and this is for everybody, and really think about what's actually going to make you happy. Because all the things I thought were going to make me happy, being really successful, owning a home really young, having all these toys and all this money, like it never fed the actual part of me that was making me happy, and I was miserable. And so when I really looked at like what do I need? Like my life, I was telling Doc, like the rules I had set for my life completely went out of the window with where I am now. And it's the happiest I've ever been in my entire life, and I would never change it for anything in the world. And I'm living the complete opposite life of what I thought I needed.
Here we go. Jade Mate
I
says
think I
there.
think that's the hardest part is letting go of the rules that you set for yourself. That's what I really want to work on. Thanks, Mom.
Jane Mate said there are certain roles that women are forced into, especially with emotional support and being caretakers in the family. I feel that men sometimes feel the roles as well, but some cultures put additional pressure on women for caring for others and putting others' needs before ourselves. Hmm. Thank you for that, Miss Jade. But yeah, I mean,
Oh, sorry. Let me get
things can change and they vary, right? Depending in the places that we are. And I think one of the biggest things I heard that revolves of what Plum is saying is, you know, don't don't look in a person what you want in your life, but be that person that you want in your own life. Be that person.
I like that.
Um, and things will become easier from there. I haven't gotten there, so things are not easier for me yet. But once I do, I'll let y'all know. You know. But everyone, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate you guys. This was an amazing chat. I learned a lot myself here. Like I got choked up a little bit. I was like, oh man, what's going on right here? But we're all learning together, and learning sometimes hurts, but it doesn't hurt as much when we do it with friends and our own community and those that we feel can accept us and if we bring faults, you know. um, Accepting ourselves is paramount, and we got to make sure that we try to do that. Sometimes we don't love ourselves, and we could see it. Other people could see it. um, if anyone here is streaming the MVP morning mix, please go ahead and type in any participants that were in your chat into the morning mix, so um, Mr. J can put them in the $10 gift card wheel that we're about to do. Plum posting this. That was coming. New doc is priceless. Appreciate you, my man. So everyone, thank you. Walk it out Wednesday today. Don't forget, we're gonna do some PT. We're gonna hang out. Anyone else in the chat that needs to be added, please let us know. Let's see. Legionnaire, Everyday, Sergeant Thunder Thighs, Bad News Bear,
Oh, my stream can't see the wheel. It's saving my resources apparently. That's okay.
Oh, we're good. Yeah, we can see it.
We'll tell you who wins.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see it anyway because you can spin it, right? You have to spin it. All right, I'm good. Anyone else streaming? Going once? Going twice? We got Jade Maid in there. We got Vapis. All right, cool. I'm good, Jade. Jade, whatever you are.
All right, who wants to call it?
Go.
Go? Question?
Legionnaire.
Let's go?
Legionnaire. Legionnaire.
Let's go?
Roll that MVP footage.
MVP. Doc. What the? You didn't put me in there, bro. Drunken. No, good job, Drunken. Good job, man. Hey, Mr.
Nicely
Drunken.
done.
We'll send you a message. I know you slap at the base with Everyday Shooter, but we will make sure to get you in contact with Miss Plum. Jay, thank you very much for doing that, man. Appreciate you. And again,
Very welcome.
thank you everyone for being here. We're gonna be back on Friday to continue the conversations we're having. I hope everyone has a great day. I hope everyone stays motivated till Friday. Fun Fact Friday. See what we come up with. I was talking about pineapples this morning. I don't know, random. Go ahead, brother.
What's
So-
up, brother?
Your philosophy about where some of our experiences I agree with. And I think it's important to like push that one step further and to say that be ready to change as well. Because our experiences will change us, and that's okay.
That is powerful. You're right. We have to make sure that, yeah, delta. Change. Embrace change. Change is beautiful. We just need to learn to see the perspective of it. But, Jay, I hate you do this to me. You give me that pensive look all the time in my face. All right, y'all. Till next time. See y'all on Friday. Carito, have a great day. Bullet, Legionnaire, we're going to go down to the office. Me and Jay go do a little sleigh. If anyone's up to it, Ms. Banca, Ms. Plum, I don't know, Rojo, possibly you.
It'll work.
I know. Thank
Bye,
y'all.
guys. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Wait, stop what you're doing right now and check this out.
Our mission at My Veteran Passion, MVP, is to elevate awareness of veterans' mental health. Through both physical and virtual platforms, we empower our nation's warriors and continue the battle against veteran suicide to ensure a smooth transition for veterans into civilian life while preserving the camaraderie they cherished during their service. Through diverse events, social and virtual gatherings, we provide connections, resources, benefits, and education.
And as I've
Strong bodies harbor resilient minds. Your support unleashes the true potential of these national heroes. Stand with us in nurturing success and creating a positive environment for mental and physical health alike.